Hello, everybody. Today I am actually here for a solo episode, and this feels so weird. But today we are here to unpack the significance of a good routine and essential daily habits, because I feel like this is something that needs to be spoken about more. More of you need to have more organization in your life, and a good habit and a good routine is essential for your success. So the preface of today is all about habits, it's all about routine, and it's about how you can become more organized and successful with your health and fitness journey. So this is a health and fitness topic, and as you would probably be aware by now by listening to this, I am here solo today, so I thought I would give a life update before I get right into it. So I am here without Georgia today. She has decided to book a spontaneous trip to America. Now, there's actually, what I will say is life happens. And unfortunately, you have to just roll with the punches. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. This is actually the first time ever that I am recording a solo episode as well, which is so weird. It feels so bizarre, and hopefully I am not too boring for you, but we are going to get straight into it after I give this little life update. So a few little things. First things first, we are actually in a new studio as well, which is crazy. The settings of this, the quality is unreal, but temporarily we are recording in a different studio as our producer has had some unforeseen circumstances arise as well. So what I will just say is your life is just never going to go to plan. As hard as it is to hear, every single person has unforeseen circumstances, and every single person will go through a time where shit just doesn't go to plan. And this is why it is so good for you to have a good routine, and it's so essential for you to have good habits in order for you to actually succeed with your journey. Because when life does go to shit and when life doesn't go to plan, you need those systems, you need those structures in order to actually persevere with your goals. So Peter is also away in America at the moment, and he's actually over there for the next month. So we have had to adapt, and we're here in a different studio. Last week we had Miss Jess on with a topic around health and fitness and her journey, which was great. And today we are recording again in the same studio, which is great, but Georgia has also decided to go on a spontaneous trip to America. So Georgia is actually going to be away for another few weeks as well. And I have decided that I'm actually still here to show up, because I am such a preacher of consistency, and I think consistency is one of the things that I will religiously talk about on my stories. So that is why we've got that here, and I don't know why that just happened, but anyway, I'm here because I want to show up. I am here to preach exactly what I tell every single one of you every week, and that is consistency is key to your journey. So that is why I am here showing up, doing a podcast, doing it solo, because that is what you do. You show up regardless of the situation. So my life update is that we are in a new studio for the next month, and I am solo recording for the next month. I will have a few guests on board too, but I am here to get into the craving of the week. So what I actually did on my story the other day is I posted a place that I went to. My shout out and my recommendation for this week is Liber, and I think I am pronouncing this incorrectly. More than likely I am, but Liber in Moonee Ponds. Now this is a skin clinic, and I am such an advocate for looking after my skin. And for those of you who don't actually know me, I have had the worst skin in the world. Like, I'm talking complete horrible acne as a teenager, where I was literally on every medication you can think of under the sun just to manage it. And what I found was the more products I used on my skin, the worse my acne got. Now, I did get this under control, but then unfortunately, I actually ended up getting acne again and relapsing with it when I was in my 20s. And this was when I was around 22, 23. I went into my first competing at 21. I ended up messing up my hormones a lot, and I just had a lot of gut issues and skin issues. And that's what kind of resulted from yo-yo dieting and having a really, really poor immune system, gut health, hormonal health. It was all messed up, and it just caused me to break out in the worst acne ever. And so with that said, I've done a lot of work with repairing all of my hormones, all of my gut health, to a point that my skin has improved immensely. And I actually put a story up the other day just showing exactly what my skin did look like. And I feel like I owe it to you guys to literally share how bad my skin was. But the moral of the story is I did get a treatment. I was actually very luckily and fortunate enough to have somebody reach out from Liebert to offer me a complimentary treatment. And I must say that it was amazing. Like, my skin feels amazing. The only issue is when you do get a facial or some kind of treatment related to your skin, you're usually going to end up with a few breakouts the next day. So that was a little unfortunate, but I know that it's honestly for the best, and you've got to get underneath all of that dead cell crap underneath. So anyway, moral of the story, check out this place for a facial and get on top of your skin health, because it is one investment that you will thank yourself for. So yeah, check them out. And I also do have a discount code where you can get 30% off your first consultation with them. And like I said, they're located in Moonee Ponds, actually right near the Indian Star restaurant on Maribyrnong Road. And you can get 30% off your first consultation if you use the code LikeAGirl30. But I now want to get into this episode, and I want to talk all about habits, all about routine, and all about the systems and the structures that you need to actually succeed with your goals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down exactly what I'm going to talk about in this episode. It's probably going to be a pretty short and sweet episode for that matter, but who knows, I might go off on a massive tangent as per usual. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is just my non-negotiables, my daily habits for success. And I do these every single day without fail. Like, it is my non-negotiable. So we're going to talk about my non-negotiables and the daily habits that I preach to my clients, and the things that actually allow them to set up for success as well. Your daily habits are crucial, and this is a small thing that you can do, small little changes to your lifestyle to actually succeed for the long term. The second thing I'm going to talk about today is morning routines and evening routines, because a lot of us can benefit from improving our morning and our evening routine. And if you currently don't even have a morning routine or an evening routine, I'm here to change your life, and I'm here to actually give you some tips on how you can implement this into your life starting from tomorrow. The third thing I want to talk about is weekly habits. So we've got daily habits and we've got weekly habits. And I'm going to talk about exactly what I do for both of those to, again, set myself up for success. Next up, I will talk about the systems that I do to keep my life in order, because, again, organization is everything, guys and girls. Organization is so important. And if you are not organized, your life is probably a shamble, and it reflects into everything you do. If you are doing your meal prep, if you are organizing and scheduling in your workouts, if you have a diary and you're penciling in important dates and things in your calendar, like, if you are organized, you are instantly going to feel less scattered, and you're going to have a far more successful week. So that's kind of what this whole episode is going to be dedicated to today. So firstly, let's get into the non-negotiables. So what I do every single day, and I feel like I need a break because this is weird talking alone, but my daily habits, so how I start my day, is everything. All right. Now, what I'm going to say is there are 4 main things that are crucial for your daily habits. The first one is movement. So however you decide to move your body, that is crucial. Whether that is the gym, whether it's going for a run, that is number 1. The second one that is really simple is your 2 liters of water every single day. So drinking your water, that is so often neglected. And if you're currently not paying attention to your water, that is one thing that you can change today and ensure that you are trying to drink a little bit more. And as Georgia always goes on about, the filtered water, I actually got told from my skin specialist the other day. She said, you definitely need to switch to filtered water to improve your skin. So if you're not doing filtered water, you should probably do that as well. And that is one daily habit that will also change your life, is 2 liters. Some may go 3, but to be honest, I just tell my clients 2 liters of water. That is all you really need. The next one is your sleep. Now, so many clients that I talk to and just people in general, they are stressed and then they have too much caffeine and they're honestly in fight or flight all the time. And we want to make sure that we are sleeping. So your third daily habit is your 7 hours of sleep. Usually, if you can get your 8, fantastic. But I'm telling you now, I struggle to do this. This is one daily habit that I really, really struggle to achieve. I feel like I average about 5 or 6 hours a night. And I definitely notice the difference between having 5 hours of sleep and having 7 hours of sleep. So third one is your 7 hours of sleep. The fourth one is your daily steps. Now, there is such a hype about 10,000 steps per day. The truth is, like, you need to just actually start tracking how many steps you're doing in a day. So if you're currently tracking your steps and you're averaging 6,000 steps a day, there's actually no need for you to go and strive towards 10,000 steps per day. Like, you can literally just excel from 6,000 and maybe try for 8,000 per day. If you're not even hitting 6,000 steps per day and you're only hitting 3,000 to 4,000, maybe you set a goal for 6,000 a day. As long as you're trying to improve and increase the amount of steps that you're doing every single day, then that is exactly how you can actually make some progress. Because again, it's about setting realistic goals and realistic habits for the long term. So they are my 4 main daily habits. And again, just to repeat, the first one is your daily movement, whether that is the gym, going for a run, whatever. The second is your 2 liters of water. The third is your 7 hours of sleep. And the fourth is your daily steps. I want to add another daily habit that is honestly just part of my routine. It's something I do every day, and that is tracking my food. Now, you are either for or against tracking your macros, but I am definitely for it. I'm also aware that you don't need to be doing this for the rest of your life. But if you are currently in a fat loss phase and you do want to have more control, like, tracking your food is something that you can do. And that is usually something that I say as a daily habit to my clients is all you need to do is tick off your daily habits, do your workout, hit your steps, drink your water, get your sleep, and track your food. The rest I'll take care of and help you out with. And that is seriously pretty much all it is. They are my non-negotiables for the day. They are my daily habits, my non-negotiables that need to happen every day that set me up for success. And I really will preface that the sleep thing is huge. Like, I am massive on that. And this kind of brings me to routines and the difference between a morning routine and an evening routine. Because let me just say, the amount of consultations that I have on the daily about routines, I feel like it is the one thing that I am constantly having a conversation about with my clients. And the reason for that is because people just don't have a routine. For something like that for me is just so normal. I just do it every day. I have my routine, and that's what allows me to be consistent. It allows me to continue striving towards success and improving week by week, month by month, every single week. So, morning routine. I want to talk about how my morning routine looks, and you can develop your own morning routine. But what I want to say in regards to routine is you need to find what works for you. My morning routine might not work for you. My evening routine might not work for you. If you're someone that likes to train in the morning, aka me, that works for you, perfect, do it. If it doesn't, like, you need to change it. You need to do what does work for you. You might be on the contrary to that and be an evening trainer. So that's exactly what you need to do in order to succeed. Find what works for you. Trial and error these things as well. Like, it depends who you are and what you have going on in your life. If you're a single girl, single guy, and like you can kind of be on your own accord, then it doesn't matter so much. But if you have kids, if you're a busy mum, you've got commitments, you work, like if your job requires a certain amount of hours, like, and you can only get to the gym at a certain time, like, you need to work that out. You need to work out what is going to be the best solution for you in actually getting there. So for me, I'm going to say my morning routine. We start by getting up at 5 a.m. every day. Now, this was when I was teaching. This was so important. And if I didn't get up at 5 a.m., it actually ruined my fucking day. Like, it actually ruined my day because it was a snowball effect. If I did not wake up at 5 a.m., and let's just say I set the alarm for 5 a.m. and then I just decided to snooze my alarm. You need to not do that, guys. I'm telling you now, just when your alarm goes off, do not snooze your alarm, because you will just keep procrastinating it and you'll stay in bed and you won't go to the gym. So do not snooze your alarm. I get up at 5, and to be fair, this alarm is now about 5:30. I actually get up at like 5:30 now. The flexibility of not teaching has given me a little bit more flexibility with that. But I still commit to that. I still commit to training in the morning. And I actually trialed this. I tried to go to the gym in the middle of the day. I tried to do it a little bit later in the morning. And you know what? It just didn't fucking work. I actually hated it. It just wasn't simple terms, it just didn't work. So I actually went back to doing my early morning sessions. I find the way that I am the most productive ever is when I start the day dedicated to me. That first part of my day needs to be allocated to me. It needs to be off my phone. It needs to be just in my own thoughts, in my own processes, and doing something that I love for me. A lot of people will like the idea of getting up and going for a walk in the morning, getting up and going for a coffee, and then doing some meditation in the morning or some journaling. I'm telling you, I've tried it. It just didn't work for me. So again, you might be that person that likes to train in the afternoon and the morning is your slow time. It's a walk, it's journaling, it's meditation, it's getting up and going for a coffee, whatever. But for me, no, doesn't work. I need to get up and actually go to the gym, hit the gym hard, train like a beast, and then I feel I'm ready to go for the day. So morning routine, get up, go to the bathroom. And I will say this, actually, I'm going to mention this in my evening routine because it's actually more of the evening routine. So I actually also eat before I train in the morning. So I have my pre-workout, which is usually an English muffin with honey and Biscoff or honey and peanut butter. I have my pre-workout, and I actually have the Grind non-stim pre-workout from Nutrition Capital, Primabolics. Shout out to you guys. It's bloody unreal. So I have that, and then I get myself to the damn gym. Now, the gym for me is literally 5 minutes away. So what I will also say, because I had this conversation with a client this week as well, and she was traveling 15 minutes, 20 minutes to the gym. And can I just say, the longer it takes you to get to the gym, the more you're probably going to procrastinate going. And when life gets hard, you're actually just not going to go. Like, you're actually just not going to get to the gym. So I would say if you need to think of a way that's actually going to be more successful for you, find a gym that's actually closer. Find a gym that's only 5 minutes away. My gym is literally 3 minutes away. It's the best. And I train at Derrimut. So yeah, how good is that? And so after I do my session, I need to time block. I need to allow, like, all right, I'm going to be at the gym for 2 hours because I don't want to be rushed. I actually just want to enjoy it. And depending on where I'm at in my training, whether I'm in my building phase, whether I'm in my fat loss phase, if I'm in prep, I'm there for like 2.5 hours. But again, at the moment, my sessions are usually taking me an hour to an hour and a half. For a lot of you, your sessions, you probably allow 60 minutes, but are you doing cardio as well? Do you need to factor that in? If you're in comp prep mode, are you doing posing practice? Like, you need to allow for all of that. For me, I'm constantly running into my clients now. So my gym session is actually becoming longer and longer. So I do have that time blocked. I have from 5:30 in the morning till 7:30, I am time blocked with gym. That is my morning routine. Then when I get back from the gym, I actually, more often than not, now that I actually am just doing Like a Girl Fitness full time, it's straight into check-ins. Like, check-ins with my girls, I have to do that in the morning because I am more productive in the morning, and also they need to pretty much get in contact with me before they start their day too. So it'll be morning check-ins, and I will then usually get straight into work from there. And I usually have a smoothie pre-made the night before so that I can literally get that and drink that whilst I'm on my check-ins straight away. And that is kind of my morning routine. And then, the rest of my day is working away, and I'll take a walk break in the middle of the day, and that's usually with Maddie, and I'll get a coffee and do all of that. So I actually try to prolong my caffeine in the morning, and I actually do not have a pre-workout with caffeine in it. I actually have a non-stim pre-workout because you will disrupt your circadian rhythm if you do have your caffeine too early as soon as you wake up. So there is research to suggest that you should delay your caffeine intake as opposed to having it very first thing in the morning. So that is a tip of the week for you as well, is to delay your first coffee to a little bit later, stretch it out a little bit later in the morning, because it can actually have an in-turn effect with your sleep later as well. Just like they say, you shouldn't be having caffeine after midday or after 1 p.m. So similar kind of thing. Anyway, so that's kind of it with my morning routine. And I want to also talk about my evening routine. So in summary, morning is always morning movement before I start my day. Before I get into work, I have to move my body, I have to go to the gym, and I have to get that done before I get into actually looking and serving my best to everyone else. And I actually shared something really funny the other day. Actually, no, I didn't. I shared it today, but it was about if you ask a client how they feel about not working out, and they said, I would prefer my husband to be mad at me for going to the gym than not going to the gym, because I am an absolute CUNT if I don't work out. So allow me to work out and I will not be a CUNT. And I found that really funny. So with my evening routine, let's get into the evening routine. Now, what I will say on this note is I'm actually someone who meal preps at the start of the week. I don't know why, but I actually personally do not prioritize time to cook during the week because my life gets freaking hectic. So with your evening routine, you want to be actually in bed half an hour before you want to be asleep. And this is a massive thing. You need to work out. First things first, you need to work out what time of the day you are training. You also need to work out what time you're waking up and what time you are going to bed. Because if you do not have that established, your day will be shit. And I'm just saying that from experience. You need a set wake up time and a set bedtime. So when it comes to your evening routine, you need to reverse engineer your whole night. So you need to work out, okay, if I want to get up at 5 a.m., what time do I need to actually be in bed? Because if I want to get up at 5 a.m. and I need my 7 hours of sleep, I need to be asleep by 10 p.m. And if I'm not asleep by 10 p.m., then I'm not going to get my 7 hours of sleep. So you need to reverse engineer that. And so what I usually say to my clients as well is, what are you going to do to wind down before you go to sleep? You can't just get into bed and be on your phone. That is going to be the worst thing that you do. And you're just going to be alert. You're going to be stimulated. You're going to struggle to get to sleep. So my evening routine goes a little like this. I make sure that I go to bed. And when I say go to bed, put myself to bed. I actually am not someone that watches Netflix. As sad as this sounds, a lot of people say, Kayla, you should really allocate time for Netflix. And I'm like, you know what? I would rather read, or I would rather learn, or I would rather get shit done on my business than Netflix at this point in time in my life. And that is just the reality. So I actually don't watch a lot of TV. I do on the weekend, but yeah, during the week, I pretty much don't do that. The only thing that I'll actually do is maybe watch whatever is on the TV while I'm eating dinner, because at this point in time, I probably eat dinner at 7, 8 p.m. And that's just the norm. And I usually just eat my dinner on the couch because I have already meal prepped the week ahead. So all I really need to do is chuck it back in the air fryer, pan fry it that's already been cooked, or simple terms, microwave it. And then I eat it on the couch. And also, can I also mention that I live alone, so this is a lot easier. If you live alone, I strongly encourage you to meal prep your meals at the start of the week. This will literally set you up for the best success. Now, when it does come to, like I said, not watching TV, I choose not to watch TV. So I actually put myself to bed, let's say at 9:30, and I'm saying this with a laugh in my brain because it's actually really hard for me to get to bed by my bedtime. But you need to have the designated bedtime. You really need to set it. I really try, and I definitely failed this multiple times last year. I put myself in this position where I would say, Kayla, go to bed at 10 p.m. Kayla, you need to go to bed at 10 p.m. And it would be 11 p.m. and I was still on my laptop. And it was the worst thing that I could be doing. If you're not on your laptop working at 11 p.m., bravo to you. You definitely should not be doing that. But I was, unfortunately, when I was still teaching, I was doing that. And then I was working ridiculous hours in the evening. But what I will say is, if you're not doing that, there's a high chance that you are on your device, on your phone, having a little scroll through TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You need to stop that. You really do. I actually have night settings on my phone so that I am on Do Not Disturb. And another thing that I've started doing is I've started charging my phone on at the end of my bed. So instead of my phone being right next to my bedside table, I actually charge my phone at the end of the bed. Now, what that does is it allows me to get off my freaking phone before I go to sleep. I set my alarm and then I get into bed. And then from that point, I literally, it means that when my alarm goes off the next day, I'm not snoozing that shit because I don't want to listen to it over and over again. It's going to be straight away back into getting the fuck up. So back to the evening routine. My bedtime is 10 p.m. So that means I am getting myself to bed by 9:30. So I go into the bathroom and I have my shower also. I actually have this weird routine where I have my shower and I get my shit ready for the next day. So as soon as I've eaten my dinner, I will make sure that all of my food is prepped, weighed out, organized, and pre-tracked in MyFitnessPal, because that is, again, saving you the hassle the following day. Now, I am doing a little bit of CRT work at the moment. So I do have my lunches prepared. I have my smoothie prepared, and whatever else snacks I have prepared, it's all there. It's all predicted. I know what my day is going to look like. I can allow for little shambles that happen because I'm pretty much well equipped with the whole flexible dieting thing at the moment. But yeah, I am very regimented and organized during the week with my food, and it needs to be prepped. So I make that smoothie the night before. I pre-track that smoothie the night before. I ensure that my lunch is there. I ensure that my clothes for the gym are set up on right in front of me so that I am physically organized. If I am going, like when I was teaching and I was actually getting ready at the gym in the morning, I made sure that I packed my bag the night before. These little habits actually set you up for success. And believe it or not, you will thank yourself for doing that. So if you are planning on training in the morning, you need to make sure that your gym clothes, your workout clothes, I just said that twice, your workout clothes, your runners, everything is planned. All of that is on your chest of drawers. It's in the bathroom. It's ready to go. And same thing goes with your meals. Make sure they're prepped. Make sure they're organized. Make sure they're pre-tracked. And do all of that after you eat your dinner. That's my goal. That is my evening routine, without a doubt, every single day. Then, like I said, after I've done all of that, I'll have my shower, I'll get into my PJs, and that's my little bit of downtime. I might do a little bit of social media planning, and then it is time for me to get to bed. And so from there, I will put my phone on charge. I will put my Apple Watch on charge. I will set my alarm for the next day. And then I get in bed. Actually, I have missed one very important thing. My adrenal switch is everything. And that is another thing from Nutrition Capital that is my God sent every single night. Adrenal switch, for those of you who have no idea what it is a chocolate powder. It is for your stress, it is for your sleep, and it is for your recovery. It is something that I recommend to everyone because it is amazing. It tastes really damn good, and it's only like 6 calories, and also it again is going to support your stress, your sleep, and your recovery. Now, this also contains magnesium. And it also contains ashwagandha, and both of these help complement your recovery. So I have that as a hot chocolate before bed. I actually have it in bed, and then that is when I now commence my proper evening routine. And from that time, 9:30, I'm in bed with my adrenal switch, and then I open up my journal and I do my 1 line a day. And I've already spoken about this before, but my 1 line a day is a reflection of my day. Now, this could be something that went well. It could be something that went shit. It could be a personal reflection on myself. If something isn't going right in my life, it's a good time to acknowledge it. If there's something that I need to remind myself of, if there's something that I want to celebrate, provide a little bit of appreciation or gratitude to someone or something in my life, that is the time that I do it. I write 1 line a day every single day. And the best thing about this is this journal goes for like 3 to 5 years. So when I write on that page, I can see exactly what I wrote the last year on that same day, and I can see where my head was at. And I love this. I've already talked about this, so I don't need to go into too much detail, but journaling is something that I try to do every single day. Once I've done my one line a day, I will then I recently have got into reading. At the moment, the book that I am reading, my recommendation is the 10X Rule. It's a bit of an entrepreneur kind of book, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. It's actually allowing me to think, fuck, I need to level the fuck up this year and just, work, hustle, grind, do the things that I want to do to get to where I want to be. And that's the truth, guys. Like, balance is everything, but your life definitely comes in seasons, and you need to understand that if you have a serious goal, like, it requires discipline, and it requires a habit, and it requires organization, and you need to show up. And if you're not showing up, like, you're not going to get to where you want to be. And I'm not here to sugarcoat it, because it's just the reality. Like, you're just not going to get where you want to be if you are not disciplined, and if you don't have these systems and structures in place. Like, where I am right now, and the reason that I can succeed with my health and fitness journey, is because I've got these systems and I've got these structures, and I have this routine in place. And while I'm on the topic of book recommendations and my usual reading routine, if none of you have read this book, you need to. And it's Atomic Habits. James Clear, you need to get that book. James Clear, Atomic Habits, that will teach you how to actually build sustainable habits and implement these little small changes, these little non-negotiables, these little daily habits. This is how you can actually set yourself up for success. So that is one thing that I recommend, is reading that book if you haven't already, and hopefully you've already received a lot of value from this episode so far. But back to my evening routine. I read for 15 minutes. Actually, you know what? Sometimes I literally just commit to 1 page a day. So if I get into bed, if I can at least persevere and read 1 page a day, I'm a happy girl, because I'm still creating the habit. I'm still doing the habit. And by doing that, whether it's 1 page or 10 pages in the evening, I've still done the thing. So just remember that as well. Even when it comes to your water, when it comes to your, like, whatever daily habit you set yourself, if you've at least tried to show up, it same goes with your workout, okay? If you at least went to the gym and it wasn't your best workout, if you still showed up and you still did it, that's still having the habit there. You've still done the habit. You've still ticked it off, whether it was a complete waste of time or not. Like, you're still having that habit there. Now, with that said, there are going to be times where you're better off just staying at home and not going to the gym the next day. Like, if your sleep was really shit and you're really sick, like, obviously stay home and don't go to the gym. But you really do have to be disciplined. There's going to be days that alarm goes off in the morning and you don't want to be there. You don't want to get up, but you have to force yourself. Just get the fuck up and go. You have to. Like, it is what it is. And you will have that fight with yourself, just like I had that fight with myself when I just continued to go to bed at 11 p.m. and I was in a war with myself every fucking day because I didn't commit to my evening routine. And let's just say I have actually succeeded with my evening routine this year, and I'm so proud that I have actually done that. And I want to preface this too. When it does come to you creating a new habit for yourself, it needs to be easy. It needs to be achievable, because if it's too hard, you're not going to do it. And we both know that the actual initial point of creating that habit is it's the hardest part. The hardest part of all is actually just starting the habit and then continuing to do the habit. So writing things down is super important. Write down your daily habits. My clients, we use Trainerize, so they have their daily habits scheduled into their calendar every day. And the daily habits that I have on their profiles is their movement, their sleep, their steps, a daily mindfulness task, and usually their calories or their protein, or a comment saying that they need to track their food. And those daily habits, they religiously, I tell them, you need to tick these habits off at the end of every night. It's personal reflection to ensure that you have achieved your daily non-negotiables. And that is exactly how they can keep themselves in check, hold themselves accountable, and do the shit that they need to do. And that is exactly what I also recommend to you, is have a checklist that you can physically write down and tick off your daily habits every day, so that you're actually committing and holding yourself to it. Because if you're not writing it down, if you're not holding yourself to it and you're not keeping accountable, you're just not going to do the habit. So that's how I've this is how I have succeeded with my evening routine this year. I tick off every day that I actually went and did my journal, that I did my reading, and that I was in bed by 10 p.m. Usually as long as it's 10:30, I'm pretty happy. But yeah, I am struggling a little bit to stick to 10 p.m. But by 10:30, I am definitely asleep, and I am without a doubt every single night doing my journal, doing my reading, and it's going really well for me. That is my mindfulness task. So my other thing that I highly invite and encourage you to do is come up with some kind of mindfulness practice that you can do every single day just to de-stress you and relax you and calm you. It's so, so important. And whether that's a meditation, whether it's a journal, whether it's reading, you need to figure out what does work for you. Okay. And for me, it's been journaling and reading. I used to meditate and then I just never followed through with it. Even breath work, like the app that I recommend is Calm. Calm is one of the best apps for meditation, like pre-guided meditations and just breath work in general. So there's so many that you can choose from. There's sleep stories. There's honestly so much. So Calm. And I do recommend getting the premium version. It's just way better. Anyway, moving on. That is a summary. That is a wrap up of my morning and my evening routines and the daily habits that I have for ultimate success. The other thing that I do want to get into today is the weekly habits that actually allow me to succeed, as well as just tips for being proactive, tips for being organized, and my advice around time management. Because it is something that I just religiously have this battle with. And sorry, not this battle with, just this conversation with my clients. But again, it's all about making these goals realistic for you. So if you do want to start meditating, if you do want to start reading, if you do want to start journaling, this is something that you can do to actually allow you to commit to the goal. You need to make it easy. So put the journal next to your bedside table. You are going to be more likely to actually journal every day if it is right there in front of you and you're looking at it every day. I even made the conscious, I have said these to my clients as well. If they're not tracking their food or they're forgetting to track their food, put the MyFitnessPal app right next to Instagram. Same as the Like a Girl app, I say to them, if you are forgetting to log into the app to tick off your daily habits, you need to move the app. Move the app to next to whatever the TikTok or Instagram, whatever you use the most, put the app right next to that. So then you're physically looking at the app and you're going to be more likely to do it. And so the same thing goes with the reading. If you want to get into reading, put the fucking book next to your bed and that is going to allow you to be more likely to proceed with that. The same goes if you want to start getting rid of a habit. Like if you find yourself constantly getting yourself into the cookie jar or the ice cream or the chocolate right before you go to bed, or you are emotionally eating, you need to remove the temptation. Like out of sight, out of mind, make it more difficult. If there is a cookie jar on your bench and you walk into the kitchen, every time you look at the cookie jar, you are very easily tempted to eat the frickin' cookie. So if you want to remove that, I would be moving that cookie jar to the back of your cupboard. So there's things in your pantry that you can alter to avoid you or making it more difficult for you to do the thing. So if you do emotionally eat, make the snacks further away in your cupboard, put them at the back, put the healthier things in front. So then it is more like a CBF standing on a stool to get to the back of the pantry to get to the chocolate. Like if it's easily accessible, you're going to be more likely to do it. If it's more difficult for you, you're going to be less likely to do it. So it goes both ways with good and bad habits. You want to be creating more good habits, so you want to be making those habits easy and more likely for you to do it by bringing it closer or putting it right in front of you, versus if you are trying to remove a habit, you want to be making that difficult so that you are less likely to do it. And that is my summary on habits. And that brings us to the weekly organization tips that I have and things that are my non-negotiable for the week. So over the week, what I do, and the number one thing, I know you're going to predict what I'm going to say. And if you don't, you obviously don't follow Like a Girl Fitness. But if you follow Like a Girl Fitness, then you will know how much I advocate meal prep and meal planning. And another thing that I will honestly, something that will change your life is actually buying yourself a diary. You need to buy yourself a diary. If you do not have a diary, please buy yourself one. You can get one from Kmart. Same thing. You can buy a journal from Kmart as well. And you need to do that. And the reason that you need to do that is because if you have everything in your head and nothing on paper, same like if you operate on a Google Calendar, good for you, sis, but I do not. I need it physically written out. And I actually like having a week to week diary. I actually have 2 diaries. One diary is my personal diary, and that is week to week. That is where I can schedule in all of my appointments for the week, anything, any social plans, that all goes in the personal diary. And it is a physical diary, guys. It is not my Google Calendar. It is a very physical handwritten diary written out so that I can see the whole week ahead. And then from there, we have the other work diary, which is a day-to-day diary. And another thing that you can get yourself is a meal planner. Plan out your meals. It is going to save you a lot of organization as well. It's actually going to help you with organization, I should say. You can get meal planners from Kmart. There's plenty of them. Or you can just write in the notes of your phone what your meals are going to be for the week. Now, when it comes to meal prep, some of my top tips for meal prep are this. First things first, you need to do your grocery shop. And I actually do my grocery shop before I do my meal prep, as obviously. But something that can save you time is just ordering your food online. That is going to be easier for you. Another thing is getting a meal prep company. If you don't want to be meal prepping and doing all of your dishes and weighing and tracking and cleaning and cooking and weighing and all the things. If you don't want to be doing all of that on a Sunday and wasting your whole Sunday, a meal prep company does work great. And a couple of recommendations that I have is Food for Fitness and Papa Macros. I also have 2 discount codes. Just reach out to me if you would like those and I can give them to you. But they are my 2 recommendations for meal prep companies. And then that is going to help save you as well. On the other note, you could also buy those meals and then just put them in your freezer and then they're there for an emergency. But I think I should do another topic on meal planning and meal prepping and how I do I could actually do a whole episode on meal prepping, but we're going to save that for another day. Another rainy day when George is not here, we can talk about meal prep. So let's get into the other weekly habits. So obviously with the meal planning and the meal prepping, okay, that is done on Sunday. So I actually make sure that I plan out what my breakfast is going to be, what my snacks are going to be, what my lunches are going to be, and what my dinners are going to be. And once I've established that, I actually meal prep it. And now if you're someone that lives alone or you're happy to eat the same thing, I'm actually just going to give you what I do. And if this works, if this could work for you, I strongly encourage you to do it. If you are a busy working mum, I will give you another alternative. But this is what I do. I pick 2 meals for the week. I pick a lunch recipe and I pick a dinner recipe and I cook that. Literally, I cook those 2 things all up in bulk on a Sunday. I weigh it all out. I pre-track it in MyFitnessPal and it is done. On that same day, on the Sunday, I will also pre-track in MyFitnessPal what my breakfast and what my snacks are going to be, and then I copy to the next day. That is a weekly habit of mine. It is a system that allows me to succeed with food tracking, and I strongly recommend it. I definitely am also going to do a MyFitnessPal hacks, tips, tricks for you in another episode as well. And that is pretty much my organization for the week. Another thing that I do with my diary and my week-to-week diary is I make sure that what I am doing is I am putting in place I am actually writing out all the things that need to be happening for the week ahead. Like, when am I actually going to be training this week? What days am I training? What time am I training? When am I catching up with Mr. Matthew for a walk? When am I catching up with so-and-so for a meeting or a social catch up? When do I have a date? All of the things need to go into the journal, not into the journal, into the weekly planner. When are my check-ins for the week? How many clients am I checking in with this week? How many am I doing voice memos with? How many am I phone calling? How many am I chasing up? What are the actual projects that I need to work on for the business? What meetings do I have? Am I CRTing this week? What days do I want to say yes to CRT? Like, all of this needs to go into my diary for my plans to succeed. Do I have a strong class this week? Like, all of the work stuff all of the personal commitments. So if you are in a family situation, and you know, what does hubby have going on this week that you need to know about? What appointments do your kids have this week? What are you prioritizing? Do you have kids' birthday parties this weekend? Do you have kids' sports? What commitments do you have? Is that on a calendar? Is that written down? You need to write it down instead of just putting it in your head, because when it's in your head, you feel so much more overwhelmed. You're going to have so much more anxiety around everything, and you're just going to tell yourself you're busy and you don't have time. And I want you to reframe that you do have time. You need to make time, and you need to prioritize you, and you need to invest in you if you want to achieve the goals that you have. Without the systems, without the structures, you're just not going to succeed. And so with that said, you need to make sure that you are planning your forward planning for the week. It's absolutely pivotal. It's absolutely critical for your success. So get yourself a diary and put in all the appointments, scheduling your workouts, schedule the time in there. How are you getting your steps in this week? And when are you doing your meal prep? When are you pre-tracking your food? When are you going to bed? What time are you waking up? What time are you sleeping? How many hours are you sleeping this week? Like all of that, you need to establish it. And that kind of brings me to a bit of that's pretty much my summary of the episode for today. And I really just want to preface that all of these things are in fact what set you up. And since working with a number of my clients, like we are all busy, guys. Like every single one of you are busy. Every single person I talk to, every single client I talk to, the one challenge and the one pain point they have is that they do not have time. Or I want to rephrase that to again, you just don't have time. Sorry, you just don't make time for the things that you want to achieve. So you need to revisit what is a priority to you. If you don't have time to work out, that's cool. You do have time, you're just not making it a priority. And that is okay. You're allowed to not make it a priority, but work out what is a priority to you. Is it your mental health? Is it socializing at the moment? Is it achieving your fat loss and weight loss goals? Is it working on your business or your work? Like, what is the main priority? Because the main priority is what you're going to invest the most amount of time into, and you need to have systems in place for all of these things to work. So in order for you to have that balance, it needs to be written down, and you need to time block and allocate these things. Like for me, everything is written down. My day is so regimented from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. Every single thing is written down. Like I write down when I am, like I said, the time that I'm going to be at the gym, the time that I am scheduling in clients, the time that I eat my freaking lunch, the time that I go for a walk, the time. And when I say that, that is my time that I walk Miley, my golden retriever. And that is scheduled into my calendar because that needs to happen. I need to walk her. So that is in the calendar. And I try to multitask that so that it's a social catch up at the same time. It is my coffee break at the same time. And you need to work out those things as well. If you want to fit in social life, but you want to be healthy, maybe a walk and a social catch up with a coffee and a friend is the perfect catch up that you can do so that you can kill two birds with one stone and tick off two things on your to-do list. And another thing on the note of to-do list is I used to be a religious person who would put way too many things on my to-do list, and you just end up being disheartened in yourself. So you just need to be a little bit more realistic. Same goes with your daily habits, like don't set yourself a 10,000, 12,000 step goal if it's just way too unrealistic for you. And that is another thing that I really want to stress is your daily habits, your non-negotiables, all of these things need to be realistic for you. Do not set yourself the goal of going to the gym 5 times per week if you just cannot stick to it. Again, we don't want to be preaching the all or nothing mentality. We want to be building consistency. And when it comes to your daily habits and when it comes to your routine, the people who succeed the most are the ones that are consistent. The people that get the best results are the ones that show up every freaking day, doing their non-negotiables, doing their daily habits, and having an established routine that works for them. Let me repeat, a routine that works for you. So you've heard all of my secrets today. You've heard exactly how I systemize my day. You've seen exactly what my morning routine is that allows me to be productive and set up for a successful day. You've seen how I set myself up for an evening routine so that I can prioritize my sleep and so that I can wake up with a good start to my day the following day. You've seen that you know how much I love my meal prep. You know how much I organize my meals. You know how much I write down every single thing that goes into my day. And that's how I can be consistent. And that's how I show up. So again, it's about being it's about being proactive so that you can be productive, and having these systems in place is honestly what's going to allow you to juggle a busy schedule. So if all of this resonated with you, I would strongly recommend that you also share this to someone who you know will benefit and someone that will also provide a lot of value. And this was so weird doing a solo episode today. So weird. I'm not even sure how long I have been recording for, but we do normally finish with a rapid fire. But guys, it just doesn't sit right with me doing rapid fire when I know the questions, because rapid fire, I'm not supposed to know the questions, and I know the questions because I actually prepared this episode last year and then shit hit the fan. Again, life happens, and I'm here showing you this today, that whatever you have going on in your life, things are not going to go to plan. It's just as simple as that. And that's just a testament today that my life has not gone to plan. Okay. Like, I could have decided not to record on the podcast today. I could have decided to go, you know what? It's not working out. I'm not showing up, but that would be against my beliefs and my morals of showing up with consistency. So again, you've got to just roll with the punches, and having a routine and having a system and having a structure will allow you to better handle these shit show situations that arise, because spontaneity happens. Okay. There's going to be times when you're just not going to be able to do the things that you want to do. And you've just got to do your best in that situation. And again, control what you can control. So I have controlled what I could control today. I was able to still myself show up. I was still able to provide an episode, and doing it solo, there's still I'm still bringing you value, and I hope that it did sit well with you. I hope that you did get a lot of value from this. If your routine at the moment sucks, then I would love to, get on a conversation with you, have a little chat to you about how you can better improve your routine and your habits. Because if they suck, if you don't have a morning routine at the moment, you don't have an evening routine, your habits are shit, you know that it's the routine, the lack of routine failing you with your goals at the moment, then I really would love to have a chat with you. Reach out to me if there are more things that you would like to know about habits, about routines, and about developing something that you can actually implement that is realistic for you. Then definitely reach out to me at the Like a Girl Fitness Instagram and slide into my DMs. I would be more than happy to have a chat with you about this and a deeper conversation about how I could potentially help you with achieving your goals and setting you up with these crucial systems for success. Because at the end of the day, I would love to help you also achieve your health and fitness goals. So reach out to me at Like a Girl Fitness if you would like to enhance and level the fuck up with your daily habits and your routine. I am taking on one-on-one clients for March. So if you would like to not miss out on that boat, then make sure you reach out to me at Like a Girl Fitness. That is all for today. I will be recording solo for the next month because Georgia will be in America. Producer Peter is also in America at the moment, and he will be back in a couple of weeks. I'm currently in this new studio. I am intending to have a guest on for next week, but if that does not eventuate, then I will be here recording solo again. Thank you so much for listening. If you are still around, I love you. I love your support. And as always, if this episode resonated with you, be sure to tag it. Be sure to share it to Evolve to Thrive. Reach out to us in the DMs. And besides from that, have an amazing week. I will see you in another week's time. Bye for now. Ciao.